This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, in 2009, our star that we're talking about here today, AJ, wins the TNA World title from you in a five-way that also involved Hernandez, Matt Morgan, and Sting at No Surrender. It's hard not to think AJ is the guy who TNA developed into a star more than anyone else, right? I mean, you can say Samoa Joe would be right there too, but AJ's got to be that guy, Kurt, don't you say?
Yeah, I think AJ separated himself from the rest. You know, Samoa Joe had a great undefeated streak. I think he was like 180-0. That was a great push for him. But TNA kind of wavered off of him after a while. I'm not sure if it had to do with his deal that he structured with the company when he signed a new contract. But AJ was always pushed by by TNA, and they wanted to make him the franchise guy. And I totally understand why.
Franchise, you said it. He was the franchise. You always thought about Sting in the early 90s, the franchise. And I think definitely AJ has to be known as the franchise at TNA. Well, the night Hulk Hogan debuts on TNA, you're in the main event against AJ for the TNA title. AJ retains his title with the win over you after Ric Flair's help. How important is it in your mind for AJ to get that win on what is really, that's got to be considered the biggest night in TNA's history at this point?
Well, it was. You know, you had Kurt Angle in the ring, you had Ric Flair in the ring, you had Hulk Hogan in the ring. This show was viable to draw ratings, and you wanted to show the fans, every fan that was exposed to this company, watching on TV or watching in the crowd, that AJ Styles was the new man of the company, that he was going to be the guy that carried the company for the future. And this was really important for all of us to make sure that happened.
Kurt, let's check it out. It's Impact, January 4th, 2010.
Matchup. I mean, you know, this match came out of nowhere for both these men. It was supposed to be a Genesis fight, and then Eric Bischoff laid it down to AJ Styles. That's going to happen tonight. The masked man attacked. Kurt helps out his own cause and gets this guy out.
The masked man taken out of play, so it boiled down to determine who is the better man, who's the best wrestler between Kurt Angle and AJ Styles. And this matchup, this world title bout, is just simply incredible.
I think when people talk about this matchup tomorrow morning, it's not going to be about who won the matchup. It's going to be about how awesome of a contest this truly was. And it really puts who we are as a company, as a pro wrestling company, on the map. Two of the greatest ever in the world in Kurt Angle and AJ Styles. Look at that. God almighty.
And AJ Styles retains the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, thank you. Thank you for bringing us this incredible world title match tonight here on Impact.
Wait. I just looked to my left and Hulk Hogan. Get the camera on Hulk. There he is.
Are the two greatest wrestlers in this business today. Kurt Angle, we've got nothing but respect for you, my brother. And AJ Styles, you just raised the TNA bar to a whole nother level. This situation is going to go on and on and on. All the TNA fans, you guys have made history here tonight.
Kurt, it seems like Hogan has long since forgot about your first interaction at Madison Square Garden at this point.
Yes, he did.
Dude, how good was that? We saw it was a highlights package, but I saw you just shaking your head at just some of the moves as you were watching that.
Oh, AJ, how amazing he was. You know, the chemistry we had together was so incredible. You know what's crazy, though? At this point in time, if you don't notice, I'm sure you did, my body size. I was thinner. I was smaller. This is because of the movie Warrior that I did. I I was a fighter named Koba,
Yeah.
a Russian fighter. I did a movie with Joe Edgerton and Nick Nolte. I forget the other star. Geez, he's a big star.
Oh, that's
too.
okay.
But anyway, at this particular time, that's why I was so small. I had to lose 35 pounds for the movie. So I basically had to starve myself for about 2 months. It was amazing.
Dude, but you guys, the chemistry, and it was Tom Hardy was the other guy.
Tom
that was in
Hardy,
that.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Nah, it's
I
all
just
good.
remembered it right now.
It's all good. But listen, you guys, just the chemistry, even in that highlight package, it was just like peanut butter and jelly in the ring. You guys were just flowing so cleanly. Hogan comes out, gives you the Hogan dust, and says, you're the two best wrestlers wrestling right now. Wrestlers. That was
Couldn't have been a
wrestling.
better segment than that. You're absolutely right.
Do you remember at all during this time, Kurt? I have to ask about AJ. Was he having any conversations with you about maybe, hey, what do you think my options are, Kurt? I mean, you got to think that Vince McMahon is salivating over a guy like this.
You know what? He never talked to me about it, but I always knew it was in the back of his mind. AJ, it was crazy because, Vince passed on the first time. I know that, that he was trying to get in the company near the beginning of his career. And I understand why Vince passed. He was a little bit undersized.
Yeah.
But showing what he did in the past, at this point in time, 10 years, I'm sure Vince's attention started drawing toward AJ. And eventually, I think what he wanted AJ to do is get out of TNA and take a little break and come to WWE, because Vince doesn't like to bring in wrestlers that are hot in other companies and bring them in and push them right away. Instead, what he does is he brings them in, shoves them down a little bit, gets them to a modest degree, and then builds them up again. Vince has a reputation of doing that. You'll notice that with Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, when they came in WWE, he shoved them down to the beginning. They were working the first match on the shows, and they eventually built them up. And, he was going to do that with AJ. And I think AJ just had to leave TNA, go off, do something for about a year or two, and then WWE would pick him up. And that's exactly what happened.
That's what ends up happening. Absolutely.
Yeah. AJ went to New Japan, and then New Japan to WWE.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that too. But it's funny because you're right. That was always Vince McMahon's, that was his mantra. If you're coming over here and you're hot, you're going to earn your stripes on my brand. Yes. I'm going to build you. I want to build you.
He wants to make you a WWE homegrown talent. Yeah.
But it's interesting because now it was a little different with Cody Rhodes coming back after 6 years off. He came back a star.
You're right. But, Chris Jericho came in. He had that big entrance and Y2J, and
that's
it
true
was pretty
too.
Incredible for about a month, and then let's build him back. So I wouldn't be so sure that they're not.
So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes.
I hope for Cody's sake they continue to push him, but you never know.
He says that his contract was very uniquely written, so we'll see what happens. And
that's good. Good news
so that's good for him. Yep.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.